Check this out. I want to read something for you. Some people find it odd that when we win anything in this game, we give praise back unto God. Well, in somebody else's game, any triumph makes us feel blessed. When it's your game, you make the rules, everything comes easy. All your friends are in key positions, so when you decide you don't want to play anymore, you never leave empty-handed. Can somebody say golden parachute? Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Hey guys, so there's been a lot of talk about white artists singing R&B and soul music and becoming a lot more successful with their renditions of their songs.
The reason for that is the systemic racism within the music industry. You see, I never reached, I'm not famous. I am black famous. There's a big difference. In the music industry, as a black artist, you are not promoted or marketed to the world. You are promoted or marketed to black audiences. And once you reach a certain level of superstardom within the genre of of soul or R&B music, then the powers that be will deem you worthy to, okay, maybe we can start promoting you to the rest of the world, right? But if you are white R&B artist, you are immediately promoted and marketed to the world in more of a blanket, ubiquitous, no, let's promote this artist to everybody. And that's just the way it always has been. That's the way it is now.
It started off with Elvis taking from Little Richard. But more recently, there's been a lot of complaints around people like Adele and Sam Smith, both British soul artists, who have garnered all the awards, all the Grammys, all the nominations, all the airplay, while R&B since 2010 has had very little and limited airplay. And so all but people like Ed Sheeran, Adele, Sam Smith are able to get massive airplay singing the same R&B that our black artists are singing, but are not making the same impact.
Like, Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about stay with me. That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, stay with me, limited bandwidth. Because our violence isn't the threat, our love is. Our family separated, it's fine, it's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman, that's the threat.
I can remember, again, being on LaFace Records, and I seen the shift coming when, when Arista Records shut down and all the artists had to go over to Jive Records, and then L.A. Reid, he went over to Def Jam. I seen a shift then. I knew something was happening. But for me, man, I mean, it really didn't bother me as much as it should have, because by then I had already left New York and I had moved down here to Atlanta. so I can raise my family, So, when those things happen, man, I the way things are now, I really feel like there was an agenda to dumb down the music, because, quite naturally, man, the powers that be, they know that music heals. Music heals the soul. It teaches, and they also know that, well, if we give a few people some money, we can fuck up the whole population if we allow a few people to send the wrong message.
And that's what R&B stands for, and that's why R&B takes such a back seat, because we're not promoting the aesthetic that continues to perpetuate the stereotype. You guys are killers. You guys are animals. You guys are savages. That's when you're at your best. So that's what we're going to reward. Those are the guys who get the $100 million deals. Those are the guys who fill up the arenas and stadiums and talk that shit. We love when you talk that shit. Love? We're cool. We're cool.
So now a lot of people are sending the damn wrong message, because if I'm a young guy and I want to be a songwriter and I see this is what's selling, then that's what I'm gonna start writing. I'm not gonna write some good stuff. I'm gonna write whatever is selling. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a decision made by somebody higher up to say, okay, let's get away from this and let's start doing this. Because when we came out, we were singing about love. The thing about R&B back then was that you had Maxwell, D'Angelo, me, you had Usher, you had R. Kelly, Joe,
Brian
McKnight, Eric Benet, Chico DeBarge. I mean, you had a lot of, you had Carl Thomas, Dave Hollister. The funny thing about it is that we all sang R&B, but we all had our own styles. Nobody sounded the same. And we all sang about love in different ways. You had some guys was more about sex, some guys was more about relationships, other guys were about both. And I think that what's going on today is the fact that a lot of people sound the same. A lot of the music sounds the same. Nobody has their own sound. It's just like, you play the radio and you hear one long record, because everything is so much of the same. And I think back then it was diverse. You had a lot of different sounds, and I think that equated to the type of love that we had back then. Now it's a little different, and I think that's where we're going. We're getting back to that.
Let me just wrap this up, because I could probably just go on for hours about this. Only people who really know who I am are my people. Black people. White people don't really know who I am, because white people, I was never really marketed to white people. Which is not fair at all, because there are definitely R&B white artists out there, but as I said before, they don't have to go through the trials or the extra obstacle that we have to go through as Black artists. Think about it. Can Sam Smith sing better than Tank or Anthony Hamilton? Hell no. But I guarantee you, Sam Smith is doing stadiums. You look at TikTok and you hear Sam Smith song every 10 minutes if you scrolling on TikTok. Does Adele sing better than Jasmine Sullivan? Hell no. No slight to Adele. She's a dope artist, but it's the same thing. It's like massive stardom does not necessarily equate to the talent that one could find in their Black contemporaries. It's the way the industry is. It's not fair. It's not right. The marketing and promotional powers that be seem to not have a problem with promoting other kinds of Black music initially, if it's particularly, I don't know, I'm gonna catch hell for this, but whatever. If it's particularly misogynistic or violent or ignorant in one way or another, they will promote the hell out of it. But if it's if it's about love, if it's something emotional and empathetic and growing and learning from life lessons, they ain't trying to promote that from no black artists, man.
Not just on the radio, but also at the award ceremonies as well. So both Eric Benet, Tank, and a number of artists have started to raise this up, but it doesn't seem to be getting away. And unfortunately, it's really making it hard for our guys to be able to, and I'm saying guys, both women and men, who are working hard trying to get their music out there. And it seems as if there's a system, and I'm not blaming the artists Adele and Sam Smith and Ed Sheeran, but it's a system that's saying we will promote them against black artists. Let me know what you think. This is Eric Benet, what he had to say, even Tank, what he had to say, and just see if you agree with this, or is it maybe that they're just making better music and that our black artists need to up their game? Let me know what you think.
You're jingling, baby. Go ahead, Daddy. You're jingling, baby.